You wake up at 6:47 in the morning, 7 minutes before your alarm. Your body just knows. It's day 4,847 of this. The same drive, the same badge scan, the same good morning to people you never chose. And here's the strange part. You did everything right. Good grades, good job, show up, work hard, get the raise. You make more money than your parents ever did. You know the feeling I mean. The Sunday night heaviness that starts around 6. The paycheck that vanishes by the 15th. The promotion you chased for 2 years that changed basically nothing. The quiet math you do in the shower. If I just get through 5 more years, so why does it feel like you're running on a wheel that never moves? Because the wheel was the plan. The salary system wasn't designed to make you wealthy. It was designed to keep you comfortable enough to stay and stretched enough to need it. That's not a feeling. That's engineering. And today I can prove it. This is the salary trap. Stay to the end because I'm giving you the 3 ways out ranked from easiest to hardest. And the third one, that's the one every wealthy person you've ever met actually used. A good trap doesn't have 1 lock. It has 4. Let's walk them. Wall 1. You get paid last. Before your salary ever touches your hands, the taxes are already gone. You never see that money. You never feel it leave. And here's the part almost nobody knows. A dollar earned from work is the most heavily taxed dollar in America. Work income pays income tax and payroll tax. That's 7.65% for Social Security and Medicare on every single check. And there's a hidden twin. Your employer pays another 7.65% on top. Money that exists because of your work but gets routed around you entirely. Now compare money made from owning things. Stocks held over a year. Property, businesses get special lower rates. Long-term capital gains top out around 20%. And for a lot of people, the rate is literally 0. A nurse pulling double shifts can pay a higher tax rate on her overtime than an heir pays on his portfolio. Read that again. The system taxes your sweat harder than their ownership. Wall 2. The treadmill. We covered this in the last video. Lifestyle creep. Every raise you'll ever get quietly turns into a nicer car, a bigger rent, a you deserve this. Income up, spending up, savings flat. The trap doesn't need to steal your raise, you'll hand it over. And about that raise, here's the illusion nobody breaks down for you. The classic annual raise is 3%. Sounds like progress, but if prices also rose 3% that year, and most years lately they rose more, your purchasing power moved exactly 0. You got a 0% raise with extra steps and a congratulations email. Stack a decade of those together and you understand the mystery. 10 years of raises and life somehow feels tighter. The wheel spins, the wheel does not move. Wall 3. The golden handcuffs. In America, your health insurance is chained to your job. Walk away, and keeping your same coverage through COBRA can run several $100s a month. Many families see quotes over $1,000. Your 401k match has a vesting schedule. Leave in the wrong year, and thousands of dollars of your match evaporate back to the company. Your vacation days, your seniority, you're almost promoted, all of it resets to 0 if you walk. Notice the design. The longer you stay, the more expensive leaving becomes. That's not loyalty. That's a leash that tightens. Wall 4. The ceiling. A salary is you renting out your hours, and hours don't scale. There are 168 in a week. No raise changes that. Work yourself to the bone and you might double your hours for a while. That's the maximum. An asset has no maximum. A company you own shares in can serve 1 million customers while you sleep. That's why you'll find plenty of people who saved their way to 1 million and almost nobody who purely salaried their way to real wealth. The wealthy aren't better workers. They just stopped being only workers. 4 walls, 1 trap. Now let me show you what it does to a real paycheck. Remember Mike? Phoenix, $100,000 a year. Last video, we watched his month end at negative $30. Today, let's slow down and watch a single paycheck die. Mike gets paid every 2 weeks. On paper, that check is $3,846. Mike has never seen that number in his life. Watch the walls close in. Federal income tax steps in first, then state tax, then Social Security and Medicare. That's the payroll tax, the one that hits every dollar of work. Then his health insurance share. Then the 401k. What actually lands in Mike's account? About $2,600, and it gets darker. The money that does land already has orders. The mortgage pulls itself out on the 1st. The daycare auto pays on the 5th. The car loan, the power bill, the phones, all automatic, all timed. By the time Mike opens his banking app on Saturday morning, his paycheck has already made every major decision without him. He's not managing money. He's watching a relay race where he runs the first leg and never touches the baton again. One more number because this one stings. $100,000 a year sounds like $48 an hour. Let's check. The job is officially 2,080 hours a year. Now add the real ones. Commuting, 5 hours a week. Getting ready, decompressing after, 3 more. The late emails, the Sunday dread scrolling, the quick call at dinner, another 4. Suddenly the job is eating about 2,700 hours. Divide his actual take-home by the actual hours, and Mike's real wage is about $24 an hour. Nobody told him that at the offer letter. The trap prices your hours lower than you think you sold them for. And here's the wall you can't see because it's inside your head. The trap doesn't hold you with pain, it holds you with comfort. Think about how precisely calibrated your job is. The pay is just enough that leaving feels risky. The annual raise, that famous 3%, is just enough to feel like progress, even when inflation quietly eats it. The title bumps, the pizza Fridays, the great culture, retention, engineered by people whose actual job is keeping you from leaving. There's a whole industry for it, and underneath it all, the quiet fear. In a country where your doctor is tied to your desk, one health scare without a job is ruin. So you stay. Not because you love it, because the exits look expensive from inside. That's how 13 years pass in what feels like 3. The water warms 1 degree at a time. Nobody jumps out of comfortable water. And here's what the water actually costs. The average person spends about 90,000 hours of their life at work. 90,000. It's the single biggest thing you will ever spend. More than you'll spend with your kids while they're young, more than with your friends, maybe more than with the person you married. Whatever you paid for your house, you paid more for your job. So when we talk about escaping the salary trap, understand what's really for sale here. Not yachts, not status, hours. Every dollar in the gap buys back a piece of those 90,000 hours, sold back to you, one automatic transfer at a time. That's the actual product. That's why this matters. Which brings us to the doors. So who designed it? Here's where it gets genuinely interesting, because both locks have birthdays. Lock 1. Tax withholding, born 1943. Before World War II, Americans paid income tax once a year. One big, painful, visible check. You felt it, but the war was expensive, so in 1943 the government started taking taxes straight out of paychecks, before workers ever saw the money. It was sold as convenient. It was genius. When you never hold the money, you never miss it. The most effective tax in history is the one that's invisible. Lock 2. Job-locked health insurance, born 1942. During the war, the government froze wages. Companies literally weren't allowed to pay more. So how do you steal workers from a competitor? Benefits. Health insurance didn't count as wages, so companies dangled it instead of money. The war ended 80 years ago. The chain it created, lose your job, lose your doctor, never left. America is one of the only rich countries where that's true. Lock 3. Easy credit, born 1950 when the first charge card appeared and perfected ever since. Before credit, if your lifestyle outran your wages, reality stopped you. After credit, the gap between what you earn and what you spend just becomes a balance, a payment. A reason you can't afford to miss a single paycheck. Debt doesn't just cost interest, it converts your future labor into someone else's collateral. A worker with payments is a worker who shows up, every time. So no, it's not a secret committee of villains, it's older decisions made for someone else's convenience that hardened into the water you swim in. But understand what that means. The trap isn't a law of nature, it was built, and anything built has exits. Here's what you came for. 3 ways out, ranked easiest to hardest. Real ones, no start a dropshipping empire fantasy. Way 1. Flip who gets paid first. The system taught you its trick. Take the money before it's felt. So steal the trick. The day your paycheck lands, an automatic transfer moves money out. Before the bills, before the weekend, before you feel rich for 5 minutes. It goes into index funds and it never comes back. How much? Start with the 401k match, always. That's an instant 100%, we covered it. Then automate 10% of take-home. Can't do 10, start at 5, and raise it 1% every 3 months. Here's the psychology. You will never feel 1%. But in 2 years you're saving 13% and your lifestyle never noticed. The invisible tax trick, working for you this time. And understand what you're actually buying. A share of a company is a claim on the work of thousands of salaried people. Their overtime, their Monday mornings. When you own the index, every paycheck you invest starts quietly collecting a piece of millions of salaries. Stop only earning a salary. Start collecting them. For Mike, 10% of take-home is about $560 a month. On autopilot, at normal market returns, that's roughly $500,000 in 25 years. From the machine we built in the last video, now feeding itself. Same job, same paycheck. Completely different destination. And before we open door 2, look at the single most shocking table in personal finance. Your years left in the trap don't depend on your salary. They depend on one number, the percent of your income you keep. Save 5% of what you make. The American average is right around there, and the math says you work for roughly 60 more years. Save 15%? About 40 years. That's the standard plan. Now watch. Save 30% and freedom arrives in about 28 years. Save half? People do it, usually by attacking the big 4 from our last video, and you're free in 17. 17 versus 60. Same person, same job. The salary was never the number that mattered. The keep rate is. It's the closest thing money has to a cheat code, and it's sitting in a savings percentage nobody ever told you to look at. Way 2. De-link your income from your hours. The ceiling exists because you sell time, so start selling something that isn't time. Easiest version, get paid for output. Commission, freelance, contract work priced by the project, not the hour. Same skill, different pricing, and suddenly a faster worker earns more instead of just going home on time. The bigger version. Stack ordinary skills into a rare combination. You don't need to be world-class at one thing, good at 2 things that rarely meet names its own price. The accountant who can build spreadsheet tools, the nurse who can teach. And yes, the person in your office who actually knows how to use AI. That's next week's video, and it's exactly this door. And be honest about side hustles. Most are just a second job with extra steps. Driving strangers at midnight isn't an exit. The good ones build an asset, an audience, a product, a skill that compounds. Here's the test, and write this down. If it doesn't compound, it's not an exit, it's overtime. Way 3. The handcuff audit. This is the one almost nobody does, and the one I promised you. 3 steps. First, build your walkaway number. The formula is simple. Your monthly bills times 6. That's the number where the leash becomes a choice. The trap only works on people who can't afford to leave. 6 months of runway, and suddenly every conversation at work sounds different because you're standing there voluntarily. Second, price your handcuffs once a year. Add up what staying actually pays, the salary after years of 3% raises, the match, the seniority. Then look at what your job posts for new hires doing your work. Companies routinely offer strangers more than they pay the person already doing the job. The loyalty tax from last video, it charges loyal employees too. Third, interview every single year, even when you're happy, especially when you're happy. Not to leave, to know. The data is consistent. People who switch jobs out-earn the people who stay loyal, year after year. But even if you never switch, knowing your market price changes everything. You negotiate differently. You walk differently. Knowing your number is leverage, and leverage is the exact opposite of trapped. And look what just happened. Way 1 makes your money independent of your job. Way 2 makes your income independent of your hours. Way 3 makes you independent of any single employer. That's the whole escape, not one dramatic exit. 3 quiet ones. Here's the twist ending. The salary isn't the enemy. A salary is fuel. It's the most reliable money machine you'll ever have. If the money it makes starts buying your way out. There are only 2 ways to use a paycheck. Buy a lifestyle or buy your freedom back, one automatic transfer at a time. Same money, opposite lives. The trap was never the paycheck. The trap is needing it forever. Mike still has his job. Same desk, same badge scan. But money moves out of his check before he sees it. His index funds collect a sliver of 1,000,000 salaries. His walkaway number grows every month. And last week, for the first time in 13 years, he interviewed somewhere, just to know. The wheel didn't stop. Mike just stopped being the one running in it. Wealth is what you keep. The gap is the way out. And you already know the 3 doors. Next video, rich people don't use AI to write poems. They use it like a staff, 5 money employees working for free. I'll show you their exact playbook. Subscribe so you don't miss it. See you there.